Welcome back. This morning we have Lori Horton with us this morning to teach us another fantastic recipe. What are we making today, Lori?
Oh, these are a classic, I think, for everybody around here, and they're really always just called Lunch Lady bars. They're a peanut butter chocolate topped bar that I think were probably a staple for most of us in elementary school. They make nicely in a large sheet pan, so I think that's why they started to become such an easy one, but also very simple ingredients, very few ingredients, which is nice. So this is a really good one you can fix up for the week. I know the kids, much as we hate to say it, are getting ready to go back to school soon.
Yes, they are.
It's going to be a good one that you can have ready to go for them when they get home. And little protein, just a little sweet snack. So I'm starting out with a good cup of peanut butter. And I've used creamy peanut butter. You can use crunchy if you want, but those peanuts are going to get a little bit stale if you keep them for a few days. So kind of keep that in mind either way. We're adding a couple of cups of powdered sugar. I did say it was a sweet snack, right?
Nothing
a
wrong
cup
with
and
that.
a half of graham cracker crumbs. And you can, of course, just buy graham crackers. Oh my. I heard that. It's Monday. And crush those up in the food processor, or you can just buy the pre-made crumbs. Words are hard.
They can be, yes they are.
We're going to add to this a stick of melted butter.
It's
going to take me a while to live that one down. And then we're just going to mix all of this up. And it's going to take a minute because we've got a lot of dry ingredients to that. And we're going to want to mix it very thoroughly. What we're going to come up with is very similar to the inside of a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Ooh, so delicious.
So if that's your jam, you are going to love these. I'm just mixing slowly so that I don't end up with this all over me. Apparently that's what we're going to do today. And then when we get to a certain point, you're going to just want to start with clean washed hands or gloves and kind of do that final mixing to really get it incorporated. You'll get a nice ball of dough that will easily lift out of your bowl and be able to pat into your pan. If you do a single batch like this, it's going to make a nice about ½ inch layer in your 9 by 12-ish pan. You can do it a little thicker in an 8 by 8, or you can double this recipe and do it in a larger sheet pan if you're doing it for a party or a crowd.
Wonderful.
It absolutely doubles up easily. And then you're going to refrigerate this up to overnight, really, at least an hour or so before we go on to the next step. So when we come back, we're going to talk about how we prep that in the pan, and we're going to start to make a ganache topping that's going to really finish that off and give us that chocolate peanut butter combination everybody loves.
All right, sounds like a plan. Lori, thanks. Sticker. Welcome back this morning. Lori has been showing us her recipe for classic Lunch Lady bars. Now, we've already done some hard work making that kind of first layer, that peanut butter layer. So talk to me about that and then what the next steps are.
So good. So, you know, some of us are old enough to remember when we would have peanut butter snacks in school. That's not quite okay anymore with all the allergies, but still a good one if that's not an issue in your house. And so yummy of a combination of the peanut butter and chocolate.
Delicious.
What I've got over here on the stovetop is just about a cup of heavy whipping cream, and I've got it warm. You'll be able to tell it's not boiling. We don't want to scorch it or overheat it. You can do this in a microwave, but it is actually a little harder to control the heat in that microwave, so it's kind of easier to do a really low temp on the stovetop. I'm going to very carefully sprinkle in about a cup of chocolate chips, try not to make a mess. And you really don't want to stir that. We're just going to let that set while we come back and work on our first layer so that that can very gently sort of start to soften those chips. And we'll come back and mix that together in a minute. When it comes to our pan, you can line this with foil, parchment, but I'm just going to spray my pan with a little bit of our baking spray. Again, make a mess. We're doing the best we can today. That's where we're at with this. So we're going to get a good layer in there so that this removes easily, as you'll see. I mixed together just those simple 4 ingredients: peanut butter, powdered sugar, butter, and graham cracker crumbs. Very carefully, but it's very well incorporated. And you can see it really does look like the middle of a Reese's peanut butter cup.
It smells like it too. I can smell it all the way from here.
So good. And we're just going to take that and just mash it and pat it down into our pan so that we get a really nice even layer. And as I said to start with, you can make this a thicker layer if you prefer by using like an 8x8 pan.
Okay.
That works great. And you may want to cut back on how much chocolate that you put on top of it, although really, do you want to do that?
I know.
There's no such thing as too much. But if you do it that way, of course, you're going to get a thicker layer of that ganache on top, which is perfectly fine. You can sprinkle the top of that then with some chopped up peanuts, some chocolate chips, drizzle it with some hard shell ice cream topping.
That would be delicious.
Go crazy
you can really
on that.
Make it your own.
You can, and it's actually really good with a light sprinkling of some coarse sea salt as well. That goes so nicely with the peanut butter.
Yeah.
So once we've got that patted down really nicely, you'll see we've just got an even layer in there. We're going to throw this in the fridge. You'll want to leave it in there for at least an hour.
Okay.
Obviously, I did mine last night, so it is nice and firm, even though it's been sitting out for just a few minutes. But that's just going to make it easier to put your ganache on top and let it set up quickly. So when we come back, we're going to get this all nice and stirred together. It's going to be really creamy.
Ooh, delicious.
And make that nice fudgy sort of chocolate topping for that. And then we may have to sample.
All right, sounds like a plan. Stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Lori is just finishing up the last final touches for these lunch lady bars. They already look so delicious, smell so wonderful. What do we have left to do, Lori?
Well, just that chocolate layer on top. But you're 100% right. We could stop right here, and these are amazing.
Yes.
It's like a deconstructed peanut butter cup. You can just eat the filling, and that's okay.
Yum.
We're not here to judge. But the topping that we're going to make for it, traditionally you'll see a lot of recipes that just melt chocolate chips and pour on top, and that works fine, but they do set up a little firm.
Sure.
So if we make a ganache to put on top, it still stays a little bit creamier, a little bit fudgier when you go to cut
silky
it.
Smooth
It's
over there. It
so
looks
pretty
so
right now.
Wonderful.
It's probably a little bit hard for you guys to see because our banner's in the way there, but
You can see the gloss. It
you
looks
can
good,
really see the shine on it. And the secret to ganache really is patience. And that is honestly why I struggle with it sometimes, because patience is not my deal. But as I said, if we warm our heavy cream, put that chocolate in there, whatever type of chocolate you choose, you can use chocolate bars, chocolate chips, pure chocolate, and just walk away. Do something else and let it set. Take it off of that heat and let the warmth of that cream really do the melting for you. Don't try to rush it. And then just let it really set and get really nice and creamy. Don't stop stirring it.
How long does it normally take?
So to actually set up, once we get this out of the pan, it's going to firm up quickly.
Okay.
And it helps that our bars are nice and cool in the pan. So that's kind of going to take care of that. You'll store this in the fridge though, once you if there's leftovers, that may not happen. So that may not be a problem. But when it's really nice like this, we can literally just pour that over the top. And you can see it's kind of just looks like a melted chocolate chip. That works great. We're going to get a nice even layer. This is about the perfect amount for this 9 by 12-ish size pan.
Okay.
So again, if you do that smaller pan, perfectly fine. You're going to get a little bit thicker layer, and you'll want to let it set up in the fridge just a little bit longer. And then I'm going to take my angled spatula and just kind of get this all the way out to the edge.
It looks so delicious.
And it's going to be such a beautiful, perfect mirror finish. Now, I already kind of removed a little piece over here just in case we needed to taste. It is going to be a little bit messy right now until that has a few more minutes to set up, but you will see. And what's nice is if you leave this for just a few minutes, it will start to get a nice firm top to it. You can actually come back then at that point with just a butter knife or a soft spatula and score your cut marks in it, and then go ahead and let it completely set up in the fridge. Makes it so much easier to cut after the fact, and you get those you'll see those pieces that have perfectly smooth edges.
Ooh,
you either do that with a warm knife or you pre-score it.
You pre-score it, and that's how you can do it.
That is the secret.
Wonderful.
So if you're taking these to, you know, maybe an event or a party and you really want to make sure they look really perfect, that is the way to do it. But give these just a few minutes in the fridge and they're going to be ready to eat. And once you start, you will not be able to stop.
Oh, they look great. Well, Lori, as always, thank you so much for teaching us another wonderful recipe this morning. Happy to have you. Stick around. Chris will be right back.